Hope he doesn't move that much. Try to keep him here to there.
Okay, I don't like hand open and out for this portion, and then
All right, young people, if I can get your attention, please. Get your attention. Guys, welcome. The only thing that I wanted to come up here and say was that you know that we're going to be starting the summer program, and that's our summer bridge program. You know that it went from 6 weeks down to 5.5 or 4 weeks, down to just 2. We got 112 freshmen that are going to be starting off tomorrow. 112. So anytime in the next 2 weeks, all the way up into the 19th when they end, so starting the 9th going to the 19th, Monday through Thursday, they're there from 8 o'clock to 12. The teachers of it, we kind of changed the format a little bit. We're going to have 16 habits of mind for all of them going through. We're going to have college knowledge, college readiness to teach them about the difference between high school and college credits, to what Stark State's relationship with other college high school is, so that they're informed going through the importance of the grades and all. Ms. Turner's going to be teaching them a little bit about reading strategies, effective reading strategies, so that they know how to read a college text. And of course, we're going to have the math ingrained in there so that everybody comes in at the same level. But in Mr. Kleem's portion, or in a 16 Habits portion, if you have a little bit of free time and want to come in to either interact, just visit, look at the incoming class, it's impactful when they see wonderful people like yourselves as the future leaders of Kansas City and beyond, to get a little insight as to what this program is, early college and how it preps them for that. So I strongly encourage you to come in anytime from 8 o'clock till 12 is when we have our sessions with them, to go ahead and just give your take on the program, how it's been successful for you, and so on, okay? So just check that out. We do have a guest over here, and I'm going to have Mr. Venturella introduce the crew that's with him. But I do want to introduce over in the back end there Dr. Gloria Donovan, so that you know. She has been a part of Kansas City for a while. She's been with Kent State. Dr. Donovan is here as to view this program, and she's got some interesting things on the table for this program in the future in early college high school. So just so that you get that take. Okay.
hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's not morning now. Matthew has spent 4 days doing the member guest, right? And Jack actually caddied for the winning team. That's huge. That's huge. And I'll also let you know that one member of Jack's winning team got a hole-in-one. And that gentleman turned to Jack and said, "What club should I hit?" Jack looked down in the bag and pulled the club out and handed it to him. That member hit a hole-in-one. So.
Jack, take a bow.
Okay, quick before I introduce our guest speaker, I'd also like to introduce a couple of guests, and actually after today they won't be guests, they're full-fledged members of our operating committee. Dr. Michael Marvin and his wife Cindy. Just a little bit on them. We have a lot of people in this program that are interested in medical, and we are so excited to have them both participate in our program. Dr. Marvin is currently the medical director for AltWorks and the occupational medicine program for Altman Hospital, and medical director for AltComp MCO. He graduated a degree in chemistry and medicine from Indiana University, and he's co-founder and president of Canton Altman Emergency Physicians, and practiced emergency medicine at Altman Hospital for 15 years. He's an assistant clinical professor for NeoMed, which we are forming a wonderful alliance with as we speak. and he's practiced occupational medicine for the last 20 years. Occupational injuries is Dr. Marvin's specialty. He works with area employees to keep the injured workers working. And in today's day and age, that's quite a challenge, and it's very admirable. So he's also an aviation medical examiner, and he services 250 pilots and air traffic controllers in Ohio. And he's also a certified medical examiner performing Department of Transportation mandated physicals for commercial motor vehicle operators, so all your bus drivers and everything. I thought it's in the thousands, I think, right, Doc? That you. So please welcome Dr. Marvin. Dr. Marvin's better half, and I can attest to that. His wife, Cindy. She's a healthcare executive with over 40 years of clinical operations, marketing, and project management experience. Again, this is the mix of, she's in the medical profession doing marketing. So when we talked about the crossover of doing things in different career paths, her expertise is in program development, financial and resource management, healthcare reform, and care delivery. She's currently director of Ultimate Home Medical Supply. She does a lot of work with the United Way of Stark County, the Arts in Stark, and United Way Women's Leadership Council, also the American Cancer Society, the American Health Society, and she's past president of the board of past president of the Board of Governors for Glenmore Country Club. So please welcome Mrs. Marvin. Welcome. Okay, so we have our speaker today. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Jim Sage. He is currently the Vice President for Information Technology Services and Chief Information Officer at the University of Akron. He's responsible for all of the university's information technology, and he'll tell you a little more, but there's a lot to be responsible on here. Basically, bottom line is he's responsible for all the technology used on the campus to run the university, teach the students, and conduct research. So, anybody interested in technology? Jordan, I know you are. There's a couple others in here, computer science. Mr. Sage is your man to talk to. Unfortunately, he has a commitment after this. He's going to have to run out. But I have some more very good news. Mr. Sage has also joined our operating committee, and he will be a full-fledged member. So after this, you'll have a chance to talk to Mr. Sage at the end of some of the meetings, okay? He is, the irony of this is he started his career right out of high school. And I found it so interesting when I was reading this bio. I'm going to hand the bios out in a second, but he worked on the technical side of IT. He's worked in computer operator, computer program, systems analyst, tech support analysis, and network support. He's worked for retailers such as Camelot Music, Office Max. Again, here's that cross between the career in technology and hi Rayana, come on in, honey. Manufacturing and distribution. He's also worked. He soon became the CIO of a company called Pioneer Standard Electronics. But his first degree was an associate's degree. Then he realized where he wanted to go from there. He went back to school. He finished a BS in Management Information Systems, and now Mr. Sage is the Chief Information Officer for the University of Akron, and probably going on to even bigger things in the future. So, Jim, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the operating committee, and this is going to be a wonderful presentation. I've seen a preview. Welcome, Mr. Sage.
It's great to be here, and I'm Jim. I'm not Mr. Sage, I'm Jim. And as Tom indicated, I started my career right out of high school. My last 2 years of high school, I went to vocational school, a career center, and took an applied data processing program. And that's how I got my first job, was right out of high school. I realized very quickly, though, without formal education, I was going to run into a ceiling, and I did. So I got my associate's degree at North Central Tech. I got my undergraduate degree at Akron in MIS. and I got my master's degree from Emory University in Atlanta. As Tom indicated, I'm currently with the University of Akron, and I'm responsible for all aspects of technology on campus. My history, I come from a farm town. I'm a farm boy. A little town out in central Ohio called Willard, Ohio. My father was a grain farmer. We grew wheat, corn, soybeans, and I realized pretty quickly that it was going to be hard to make a living on a 150-acre farm in central Ohio. So I made the move. I left Willard in '76 and have had a great career since. What IT has enabled me to do is have a wonderful family. My 2 daughters are up in the top right corner. Brittany on the left is 27, she works at Goodyear, and Kristen on the right is 24, and she works at Deloitte. It also has enabled me to pursue some passions. One of them is motorcycle racing. Yes, that is me on the bike, up at Nelson's Ledges over near Warren. For anyone that's into motorcycles, it's a 1,000cc Ducati, and I do endurance racing, 3, 4, 6, and 12 hours. And I ride with 2 other teammates, so I obviously at my age don't ride for 12 hours myself. What do IT professionals do? I think a lot of you, Jordan, I heard reference since you're interested in technology. I think many of you know this, but what do? We create applications for the iPhone, the iPad, Droids, whatever. We make it make iTunes possible, the MP3 player. I had no idea how quickly the music industry was going to change when this technology hit the market. I was with Camelot Music here in North Canton for 15 years, and that business evaporated 2 years after we sold the business. And it was all a result of the MP3 player, portable device, and iTunes. And a whole industry disappeared within a few short months. It was amazing. And at the peak, we had about 500 retail stores all around the country. Create PC software, as you're well aware, all the software that makes this stuff work, that's what IT people do. Xbox games, Microsoft Office, you know this. We create the systems that are used to control storms. We write applications that make ATMs work and online banking work. So there's software in everything. Underlying Google, underlying Yahoo, it's all about software. Oops, I gave you one of the answers by hitting the button too early, but who can tell me of something else that an IT professional does beyond creating Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on? Computer programmers, what else do they develop besides the things I told you about? And I took away the easy answers, but can you think of something else a computer programmer might create?
Would those be the programs and businesses that allow you to communicate within the business?
Correct. That's a good answer. So the first person that answers my pop quiz gets a jump drive. And you have to take the propaganda from the University of Akron. I apologize for that. So, I love the University of Akron, but there's a lot of other great universities in this market. So, as an IT professional, what do? We're database administrators, software engineers, network engineers, webmasters, application developers, business analysts, computer support specialists. Those are some of the titles that we carry. What does a database administrator do? If you're interested in IT, look at data. Look at this thing called being a data scientist, and look at this topic area called big data. What's happened over the years is all organizations, hospitals, have spent millions of dollars on computer technology. And what they've become is very data rich and information poor. The young adults that can get in and figure out how we take all those millions of dollars that we've spent on technology, take the data that's inside those systems and pull that data out so we can make informed decisions. It's a very rich career path. If I was your age, Jordan, I'd look at being a data scientist if you like working with data. We're software engineers, and fortunately I've had a lot of these jobs over the years, but we develop and test computer programs. We're network engineers, all the networking that interconnects everything. When you get onto the internet, you're probably using Time Warner or some other method of getting out to the internet. network engineers build that connectivity. The University of Akron sits on a very elaborate network that we built that interconnects all the universities in the state, and through the I-2 Internet 2 network, Internet interconnects to all the research institutions really in the world. And the network engineers build that connectivity. Again, another great career, because in the future, it's going to be all about interconnecting things. Webmasters, you know what that is. It's creating websites. It's taking words and art and creating sites that are engaging and useful. Who would have ever thought that Amazon would change the face of retail? Retailers are scrambling for their lives because of the threat of Amazon. What's happening today is people are going into retail stores, picking up goods, deciding that's what they want, writing down a model, and then going out to Amazon and ordering it. So retailers like Best Buy, they are scared to death about what technology is going to do to their core business. So the people that get in and figure out those new technologies are the ones that win big time. I apparently duplicated my developer. Business analyst, this is the liaison between the business and the IT group. It's a person that can go into the business, understand the business. At the business of Akron is recruiting students, retaining students, graduating students, figuring out how information can be used to enable that to occur. That's what a business analyst would do. Computer support specialist, what happens when this stuff breaks? I just about reached out to you a moment ago, Jordan, when I couldn't make my PC work, and to ask you for help. But that's what support specialists do. They make it work. Successful IT professionals are problem solvers. They're leaders and team players because it's all about working together as a group. There's this myth, I think, that computer people like us, Jordan, I keep referring to you only because Tom referred to you earlier. Who else is interested in IT? So I can pick on you too. So Jacob, people say people like us don't have a lot of interpersonal skills and we want to go off in a corner and work by ourselves. Not true. I spend 80% of my day interacting with my colleagues. I spend most of my time with the deans of the colleges, the department chairs of the colleges, the vice presidents that run the other units on campus. 80% is out interacting with people. We're planners. We like to organize and plan things. We're creative. We like to create things like Amazon, like Google, like Facebook. We're curious. I don't know about you, but I like to figure out how things work. What makes it work? What goes on under the covers? We're ambitious. Got the drive to take the extra step. And we're good communicators. And I can tell you, at your age, the last thing I would have wanted to do is stand up here and talk to you. I would have been frozen. And I've worked really, really hard over the years to get better at this. So every time and I'm still not real comfortable standing up in front of a group talking, but every time I get a chance, I do it. Because the more I do it, the easier it becomes. Even our president, Luis Proenza, who is an amazing guy, is an introvert. You would never know watching him speak that he doesn't like to speak to a crowd. So the issue is that demand is exceeding the supply for talent. I've got a slide here in a moment that will show you the number of IT jobs available in northeastern Ohio alone, and it's thousands. It's not 100, it's thousands. The reason is a lot of students are choosing not to pursue IT degrees. I think we've got 2 that are giving some thought out of a fairly large group. So the pipeline into the IT programs is shrinking. One of the reasons I believe this is the case is we're all influenced by parents and other family members, and I think a lot of parents believe that IT jobs are going to be outsourced. So there aren't going to be any jobs for you when you come out of college. Not true. There are some jobs going to India and to Asia, but they aren't the jobs you want, and I'm going to speak about that in a moment. And baby boomers are beginning to retire. Yes, I'm a baby boomer, as you can see. I'm a little bald, and I'm a little pudgy, and I'm in my 50s. I won't tell you where in my 50s. And I'm not ready to retire, but I will at some point. And that's gonna pull supply down. And what that does, what that means to you is opportunity. So what's happening? Salaries are going up because demand is not keeping up with supply. Salaries are going up. So there's good when that gap exists. New technologies are being created every day that are changing the face of the world. As I said, when I joined Camelot Music in 1980, I never thought that company would go away. In 1997, it was out of business. Out of business. And we were one of the best retailers in the country prior to that. And it was put out of business by technology. Unfortunately, you stopped buying, or you maybe never started buying CDs. Do you know what CDs are? I bet you don't know what 8-tracks are. I've got some of those. From 1990 to 2011, the number of cell phones went from 12 million to 6 billion in the world. And all the applications that went along with it. I don't know how many apps you have if you have a smartphone, but mine's full of applications that do some really cool things. And as a result, businesses are coming to campuses like Akron and Kent and other great schools, Stark State, you pick it, and saying, you got to help us do something to satisfy this demand. So, another pop quiz. Why is there a shortage of IS talent? I just gave you the answer a second ago. Okay, it's too easy. You got that, your body language says you got to be kidding. But go ahead.
Well, you just said that the pipeline's getting like into a trickle and people are retiring.
That's right. And again, anytime you can move into a profession where the demand exceeds the supply, what that means is opportunity for you. So, a myth. There will be no IT jobs when you graduate. I hear a lot of parents say, I'm not going to encourage my children to go down IT paths because all those jobs are going offshore. Not true. So between 2002 and 2012, the top fastest growing jobs were computer-related jobs. And it gives you some examples of the growth that occurred in computer-related fields over that 10-year period. And we anticipate that this growth is going to continue because technology is accelerating. Northeastern Ohio, this was done by a group called Burning Glass Technology. These are jobs in Northeastern Ohio alone, by job title, and the numbers of opportunities that exist. So there's plenty of jobs in this area. I'm very connected in industry because I spent most of my career there. Eaton, Sherwin-Williams, Progressive Insurance, Smuckers, Goodyear, they're all looking for talented entry-level people. The myth about outsourcing, there are some jobs going offshore. Some basic programming jobs you probably don't want anyway. Help desk jobs. The help desk is a good way to get started, but it's not something you want to do long term. Those kind of jobs clearly are going to go offshore, and have, because it's all about cost of labor, cost per dollar, cost per hour, if you will. Highly skilled jobs that are connected with an organization or an institution's core competencies are going to be kept local. They have to be. At the University of Akron, one of the biggest issues we have is keeping students through graduation. So what we've begun to do is build some really elaborate systems that monitor students as they go through their academic curriculum. And there's all these indicators that indicate students are becoming at risk, so we can get them help before it's too late. And what we've got is we've got some pretty sophisticated data warehousing and data analytics that are watching kind of behaviors. How often, what do the grades look like? Are you using the technology that we've given you to use, and how often, and for how long? How have you done in prior courses? We call them gateway courses. If you don't do well in MIS gateway courses, you're probably not going to do well in the MIS program. So we get all these elaborate systems that are watching progress, so if something occurs and a student is going to become at risk, we can intervene before it's too late. global companies may begin to outsource to the U.S. I'll tell you one thing that I did at Akron that I'm really proud of. I went to Akron in 2005 after spending almost 30 years in industry before moving. When I got there, I had 175 people that worked in my division. Today, that's 118. You know how the delta's made up? Students. I employ about 110 students every semester. Not just doing help desk work, remedial work, but doing some fairly senior level work. And what that enables the students to do is gain a lot of good experience while they're a student. So if you're interested in IT, Jacob, and you go to Kent, talk to their IT folks and find a way to get an internship in IT. Or if you go to Akron, I could probably help you with that. But so I really believe there's going to be international companies coming back to this country saying, you've got this resource pool called young adults, called students, that we think we can draw upon. We already talked about jobs that require close contact with the business will stay. I spend, again, and a number of my direct reports spend a lot of time in the institution understanding what the challenges are. We spend time with athletics, talking about athletics compliance. We spend time with physical facilities, talking about building maintenance and building automation, because we have to lower energy costs. And now in companies that do outsource, it's all because they're trying to lower cost, but they're not going to outsource quality and value, resources that need to be high quality and high value and business related. Myth 3, IT related degrees are worth less. Think that's true? Now, here's just some examples of undergraduate degrees, entry-level salaries, compared to some of the other jobs. You know, computer engineers, you could argue that's engineering, but technical support specialists, people like me, MIS, CIS folks, computer programming, you get a sense for these are some of the better paying jobs. And the reason is the supply and demand. If there was plenty of supply, this wouldn't be occurring, but there isn't. So again, you'll note that even with the engineering students, we're right close to where they are. So if I had it to do over again, I probably would have been an engineer. I love engineering. These are some average salaries, again, from surveys done in northeastern Ohio. You can read this. A quality analyst at $50,000, a web developer at $60,000, a desktop specialist at $56,000. So that 50 to 60 range is what a person with an undergraduate degree can typically expect. And I'm paying some of our students that are the more advanced computer science students in this range as employees at the university. Again, keep in mind the range for IT is 50 to 60 for a beginning undergraduate student. These are just some examples. A nursing assistant, the folks in the right side of my right side of the room can probably speak better to this than me. Call center reps, loan service clerks, marketing analysts, just to give us some comparison of IT jobs relative to other jobs. Again, our range is that 50 to 60 range. The U.S. median income is $26,000. U.S. average income is $40,000. And again, IT jobs are in that 50 to 60 range. So you can see that IT typically pays above into country averages for entry-level jobs. Obviously, there's going to be, as demand increases, there's going to be pressure on salaries to go up and to keep up. Now, will there ever be a point where demand equals, supply equals demand? That's yet to be determined. I doubt it because of the changing technologies. It's amazing how technology has evolved in the 30 plus years I've been in this business, to where we started on punch cards to where we are today with 128 gigabyte jump drives. It's crazy. And demand is going to continue, as I believe, to outstrip supply, which is going to drive those salaries higher. It's a guy thing. Unfortunately, to a large extent, that's still true. But I'm a guy, so I can say this. The women in my division are some of the most effective employees I've got because of the way they think. They think more broadly, more globally. And I'm a very linear thinker. I'm very focused, I'm very sequential, and sometimes that just doesn't work so well. I found this statistic, which my daughter shared with me, that in Accenture, Deloitte, and IBM Global, for technology management consultants, this is higher level management consultants, they actually have more women than men because of the way women think versus the way men think. So if you're a lady and you don't think there's a place for you in IT, not true. And there's some really good opportunities here.